Well, hey kids, welcome back to Theme Park Casual. Welcome to another Gimme 5 Members First video. Can I get a quick mic check? I'm still making sure that everything is working here. We were having some connection issues earlier, so if I could get a thumbs up from you in the chat, letting me know that yes, we are good. That would be fantastic, and then I won't be sitting here talking to basically just myself. So, we can hear you just fine. Thank you, Daisy. All right, kids, so don't have much time today. I do have a full workload at work and other projects as well, so we're going to dive right into it. So thank you for joining me bright and early, but what I wanted to talk about was the announcement of the new Magic of Disney Animation, the Art of Animation, whatever they're calling it, over in Disney World. It's coming to Hollywood Studios. Now, normally, adding something like this, I'd be completely agreeable to. I'd love it. It sounds like a great idea. But, of course, they're doing it in a weird way. They're doing it in a way that does not make any sense to me. And let's just kind of go ahead and talk about it. There's every corner of Off the Page is designed to immerse you in the craft of animation, as this experience is a collaboration between Walt Disney Imagineering and Walt Disney Animation Studios. Dan Abraham says he can't wait to see what guests dream up after visiting the space. Learn to draw with Olaf. Here's the part that gets weird. So they've got a bunch of like exhibit style stuff, you know, for you to go through. You'll learn, you know, different things about the story building and animation process, you know, when you go to create one of the pictures. And they'll have characters along the way, you know, kind of detailing each different little aspect of putting together one of these, you know, incredible movies that Disney is known for. Then you get to the part where you actually get to draw. This is where it's kind of, you know, being very similar to our Art of Animation in California Adventure. But you're going to get to learn to draw with Olaf. So it says, step into a new Animation Academy experience with Olaf Draws! Exclamation point. Where everyone's favorite snowman takes center stage as your cheerful host. With his signature warmth, optimism, and playful humor, Olaf invites guests of all ages to explore the art of character drawing. Brought to life as an all-new audio animatronics figure, Olaf welcomes you into a space inspired by one of his most memorable moments from Once Upon a Studio, sitting at an animator's desk, joyfully discovering the art of drawing. So that seems all well and cool. I'm okay with that as a pre-show, not a big deal. Olaf, not my favorite character. It's like, whatever. But part of it is I'm a little disappointed that they did recording of Josh Gad, which means there's no spontaneity, at least that we know of. There may be some, I don't know, but I would have liked to see, if they're going to do an animatronic like this, that it be something along the lines of Crush, you know, where there's a cast member that is taking over and being able to communicate with the audience through Olaf. That would have been very cool. In fact, I think that might have been, you know, something that would have set this completely apart from everything else and made me forget about what's coming next. Because if you can interact with the animatronic and there's, you know, a little bit of fun and the playfulness of it, I would be okay with it. So as far as we know, there's none of that. But then it gets worse, because then you go into actually starting to draw your character that they're going to teach you. And Roto Commission, I saw that. I will not let it go. And I will not allow those kind of jokes in my chat any further. I'm going to move on. We're going to go ahead. In any case, so you go to the animation portion, and this is where it just kind of, for me, it just completely goes off the rails. It's the antithesis of what Disney is. And you're going to get taught by some of Disney's top animators. Sounds great, but it's via a pre-recorded scene that they walk you through the drawing. Why would you do that? That is the most god-awful way to make this as sterile as possible. It's like, hey everybody, why not come watch this YouTube video and we'll teach you how to draw? It's like, come on, that's pathetic. Why would anybody want to sit there and go, hey, let's go watch this video and we'll learn how to draw? I get it. It's, the animators, but has anybody ever said, gee, you know what? I really wish I could get out of these live classes and go online on my vacation? It doesn't make any sense. This is, again, it's one of those things where it's like you went screen-based on something that should be completely interactive, have a human element, and really allow people to dive in, ask questions, learn about something, have some, spontaneity and some silliness that might happen. But no, they make it as dialed in, as plastic, as manufactured. This is why I tell you guys, I'm nervous about where Disney is going. They've destroyed Rivers of America in Florida, and this is the kind of stuff that the people are starting to produce. That's not going to work. If this level is what's working on the Cars stuff and Villains Land, we're in for a world of hurt, guys. We are going to be looking at Disney World wondering what the heck did they do and how do we get it back? Because this is pathetic. This is absolutely, I don't understand any of this decision if an Imagineer was involved and if animators were involved. I find it hard to believe that anybody in those disciplines would say, yeah, this is the way to go. This is completely somebody looking at a spreadsheet, looking at how to figure out to cut costs, get rid of cast members, monetize, basically not monetize it. Well, actually monetize. Yeah, they're going to figure out a way to make this, a lightning lane so that you get certain things. But in any case, they're basically making it so that it is completely prepackaged and there is no uniqueness about it. And that is just, like I said, I can't imagine that is an Imagineering decision or an animation decision. That is simply somebody that has no idea what they're doing about this and is just looking at numbers and figuring out a way, how do we cut costs? And that is pathetic to do to the guests and to the cast members, many of which who, when you've gone to the Art of Animation, it is so fun. They are so wonderful, those cast members that teach you how to draw a character. It is fantastic. And you get the kids involved with it. You get the animator looking at them and telling the kids, great job. There's even time where, afterwards you could probably sit and talk to them for a moment. And they just let it, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. They dumped it in the trash. They threw it all out the window for something that is so pathetically, the only word that comes to mind is just plastic. Everything it just feels plastic, it feels phony, feels artificial, feels uninspired. And I don't know why they would make this decision. I'm hoping that, they're quickly going to get some backlash on this and realize, oh, we can't just have video animators teaching people how to draw. So, while I got you guys here in the chat, what do you guys think? I mean, is this the kind of thing where you're like, no, it makes sense. I'd rather have a video of, the top tier animators rather than, somebody that's maybe, just starting out or, isn't quite at that level, but they're teaching me how to draw a character. What's your thoughts, guys? Because I feel like you could find YouTube videos that are going to be way better and teach you something way more involved, in depth, and probably even better than what they're going to be able to package in this, 10-minute experience that they're doing at Disney World. Manny Uncanny. It's stupid, period. Thank you. I agree with you. Barbara Duncan. Once they've invested in the animatronic and the tech for video teaching, it'll be hard to get them to back off. I don't know. See, the animatronic, I think, works as a pre-show. And like I said, if that was just pre-show and then you went in and there was the animation, I'd be like, okay, that's kind of fun. It's a neat little way to set things up. But I think they're missing a chance with this to take it to that next level and make it a full-blown Disney experience where I'm talking to Olaf and he's talking back to me and answering my question or making a joke with me, saying something. They could have done that. And that would have taken it to the next level. And I saw somebody, I think it was Vash Sky's Parkcast, somebody in the chat there mentioned, can you imagine how fun it would have been if they had the animatronic and it was Donald Duck and he's sitting there at the animator's desk and you've got the phony, camera on what he's doing, and it's just getting all wacky, and he can't do it, and he's getting frustrated, and you've got him screaming, and the live animator is working with Donald, but you've got another cast member that's voicing and doing Donald. So it's not pre-packaged. It's not, like the Runaway Railway with Goofy, where it's that, interaction that's pre-programmed, and the cast member can adjust a little bit, but if you had that and you could have them having some banter back and forth and then talking to the audience, I think that would have blown it up into something where you're just like, wow, that was something that I'm never going to get to experience again, because it was a completely unique one time. Only this one time is it going to be exactly like that. That's what I was looking for. How do we get TPC on Disney's board? You don't want me on the board. You don't want me on the board. I don't know what I'm doing. This is all real just stupid ideas that have no basis in reality. See, and that's the other thing. It's like, okay, I get it. I don't see budgets. I don't see, everything that's going on. I'm not the one being told by, upper management, you either do it this way or you can go find another job, in which case I'd probably be over at Universal saying, hey, maybe you could give me a job. I could have some fun over here. We could do something really cool. But, Ariel, I don't like it. It's one of those things where it feels like it's a one and done, and that is the absolute opposite of what these types of experiences should be, especially when it's Disney. Disney should be making these experiences to where it's like, I'm not a huge fan of Turtle Talk with Crush, but every time I go, I end up smiling and thinking that was cute. Sometimes there are those moments where you're just like, oh my God, I am so glad I was here for this, because things go off the rails, or a little kid says something. There was one, I think it was Attractions Live, she posted something of one of the kids in Turtle Talk, and I don't know if it was her video or if she found it and reposted it or whatever, but you see this little girl, and she asked, what's your favorite color? And he says, well, I have a green shell. I like to eat this green sea kelp. What do you think my favorite color is? And she says, pink. And he's like, no, nah. And so he tries again. Let's try it again. Green, green, green. And then she says, pink. And he's like, okay, we're just not getting it. And so everybody's laughing. And then he asks her, so what's your favorite color? And she says, green. And the room came apart. And that's the kind of stuff you want. That's the experience that Disney is supposed to provide, so that not only does that family have something that is beyond a memory, everybody in the room is going to go back, oh my gosh, this one time we went on Crush and the little girl kept saying green, kept saying pink, and then when he asked her, she said green. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it's supposed to be. That's Disney. The Disney experience is supposed to be something that you don't get anywhere else. And I think they missed it with this, but like I said, there's the chance that they can bring it back. I think they've got the bones there for it, if they're willing to take the chance and say, you know what, let's get some actors, let's get some, people that are going to be able to turn this into something and make it that thing where everybody on their vacation knows you've got to go to the animation thing because it's so much fun. Get you out of the heat, get you out of the rain, but it's also a really fun experience. The kids love it. Everybody starts laughing. You have a good time. That's what I think. That's what I think they should do. But that's just me. Yeah, I mirrored it. Yeah, I was working with my tech guy here earlier this week, and we were looking at things, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I had my ring light. I never even used it because he was setting up all the lights for me and everything. That's why we got the nice blue light behind me now. I've got a nice backlight here. I've got a good flood on me, so I don't have any weird anything. So, but then I realized I'm showing him the video, and he's like looking at it, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't unmirror it, and so come on, Barbara, you know me. Yeah, it's the way I'm seeing it on the camera now is correct. So, yeah. Thanks for opening that wound, Barbara. Very profesh. Yes, the 11 a.m. hopper time will be eliminated. We don't have a date, as far as I know, for when that's going to take effect. It'd be awesome if it takes effect as of tomorrow, so that come March Madness on Sunday, we are able to go wherever we want. I don't have to worry until closing, because that's the only time that it would change after that. I wouldn't have to worry about having 3 different wheels ready to go at the start of the day, because we've got the Disneyland wheel, then we got the California, then we got the full wheel, and then some days we may actually rope drop California Adventure. We'll have to see. I may change things, depending on where we stand with attractions. I may have to switch our rope drop to California Adventure. But welcome in. Thank you everybody for joining. IGN, welcome in. Jungle Book, thank you, Jungle Book. She was nice enough to get some wonderful spreadsheets set up so that our mods can quickly and hopefully accurately keep track of all of the March Madness stuff. So we've got a Pluto sheet, we've got our casualties, we've got our rides completed, all of that set to go, and she set it up with all these formulas so that if you click something, it populates over here, it keeps us in order. So it should be fantastic, but thank you again, Jungle Book, for that. Gil Dizon, welcome in. Going back, IGN says, I feel the same way they went with Star Wars. Yeah, and that's another one where, somebody was saying, I think it was like a clickbait thing, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run gets a new name. And all it was Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run dash a new mission. It's like, why you gotta be all clickbaity like that? That's dumb. And yes, everybody, you got your new emoji. Since they took away our Hey Kids emoji, I was able to, I dropped in 2. I switched out the Autopia Karaoke for a short time here. Excuse me. We'll bring that one back probably. That one will be in the rotation as we do things, just because we didn't get to use that one for too long. But we've got our Dr. Harold Yeti emoji, and our March Madness Angry Tiki. Can't wait to look at the spreadsheet. Yeah, it's a thing of beauty, man. In charge of the TPC Genius Bar. That sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? TPC Genius Bar? Trying to picture what that would look like. It's like a 2x4 on 2 cinder blocks. One of the cinder blocks is kind of cracked and about to fall apart. So, Debbie Bernfeld, welcome in. Good to see you. Good morning. All right, so that's what I have for you guys today. I don't understand this animation thing that they're doing in Disney World. It does not seem like a good idea, and like I said, it makes me nervous for all the other stuff they're planning, because they made some gigantic decisions in Disney World, and if they don't have the right people on them, it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough go for Magic Kingdom. But one thing I did hear was that Villains Land, and these are pretty solid because they are from the Wrap, which is a Hollywood rag, that the coaster is going to be a family coaster based on Emperor's New Groove. There's going to be a major boat-based, a water-based attraction from that will tie into Maleficent, and then there's going to be like a spinner ride of some sort themed to Ursula in some way, which I don't know, guys. Everybody was hoping for a dark, brooding, spooky, very creepy, very much a Halloween-esque Villains Land. I don't know if that's what we're getting, or at the very least, it's going to have some different moods throughout. It's going to have the comedy with Emperor's New Groove over this side, and Maleficent's going to be a little bit darker and scarier, and then you're going to have, So again, I don't know what's going on, guys. This is going to be one of those ones where we gonna have to wait and see, because I don't know how that's going to go. parking is going up again. Ooh. Well, I shouldn't be surprised, because when we went to the concert in Ontario, you know, I mean, it's not a major arena. It holds, I think, for concerts, I think it's like 10,000. So it's like a mid-size arena. And parking normally for sporting events there is like $10 to $15, I think. Parking for the concert, $45. Yikes. So yeah, pay $50 to have your car sideswiped. Yeah, well, they got to pay for all those people that are getting their car sideswiped, right? Yes, you got to be careful though, slapping. I mean, yesterday one of the guys here at work was messing with somebody and said, dude, check out what happened to your car, and shows like a truck smash into it and glass everywhere. So you got to be careful, unless there's an actual report. You know, you can't trust any video now. Loud, that's a lot. Okay, yeah, Toyota Arena. So, all right, kids, I think I'm going to have to get going now, because I got to get everything picked up and packed away before work starts, and I've got a full work day, like I said. So be sure to join us bright and early Sunday morning for the beginning of March Madness. We will get things going as early as possible. If I can get there and get things ready, we'll be live by 7:30, but 7:45 at the latest. We will do a quick run through for everybody that's joining for them to learn how March Madness works, and then we will get our first card pull done so that we are in place, ready to go at rope drop, and we don't get caught flat-footed. So with that, I will say thank you again, members, for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for watching the replay, and I will remind you to relax, be casual. We'll see you Sunday for March Madness, everybody. Have a great weekend.